There's something most men completely miss about what actually draws a woman in. And more importantly, what makes her stay mentally and emotionally connected to you long after the conversation ends. It's not your money. It's not your achievements. It's not even how funny or charming you are. What truly separates the man she remembers from the man she forgets is something far more subtle and far more powerful. It's your ability to make her feel seen, not just looked at. It's how you make her feel understood, not just impressed. And that starts with the kinds of questions you ask, not to fill silence, but to open something deeper inside her. Hey, I'm Olivia, and welcome to Psychology Secrets with Olivia. This is where we go beyond surface-level dating advice and really understand how connection, attraction, and emotional depth actually work. And let me ask you something directly. Have you ever had a conversation with a woman where everything felt fine, but nothing really clicked? Like she was polite, maybe even smiling, but something was missing. No spark, no depth, no curiosity from her side. And then you wonder later, what did I do wrong? Here's the truth most men never hear. You didn't necessarily do anything wrong. You just didn't take her out of autopilot. Because most women are used to the same conversations over and over again. What do you do? Where are you from? What do you like to do for fun? And don't get me wrong, these questions aren't bad, but they don't create emotion. And attraction, real attraction, is emotional before it's anything else. Let me give you a simple, real-life example. A guy once told me he went on a date where everything seemed perfect. Nice restaurant, good conversation, he was respectful, confident. But afterward, she texted him, "You're nice, but I didn't feel a connection." And that confused him. Because in his mind, he did everything right. But here's what he didn't realize. He never made her feel anything beyond comfortable, and comfort without curiosity leads to forgettable. Now compare that to another situation, a different man, same kind of date setting, but at one point he pauses, looks at her, and asks, "What's something you used to believe strongly, but life proved you wrong about?" She pauses. You can literally see her thinking. And then she says, "Wow, no one's ever asked me that before." That moment right there, that's where attraction begins to shift. Because now she's not just talking, she's feeling. And here's something powerful you need to understand. When a woman feels something unique in your presence, she starts associating you with that feeling. And that's how emotional imprinting works. So today, I'm going to walk you through 7 powerful questions. But more importantly, I'm going to show you why they work, how to use them naturally, and how to create a connection that goes beyond surface-level attraction. And as you're listening, I want you to ask yourself, am I trying to impress or am I trying to understand? Because that one shift changes everything. Now let's go deeper. The first question is, what's something you believed strongly 5 years ago that you don't believe anymore? This question is incredibly powerful because it taps into something psychologists call identity evolution. People are deeply connected to their personal growth story. When you ask this, you're not just asking about opinions. You're asking about who she used to be and how she became who she is now. And here's what happens psychologically. Her brain shifts from casual conversation mode into reflective mode. She starts revisiting memories, experiences, maybe even pain that shaped her. And suddenly, the conversation has depth. Let me give you an example. She might say, "I used to believe that I had to please everyone to be liked, but I realized it was exhausting." Now think about what just happened. She didn't just answer a question, she revealed a part of her emotional journey. And if you respond correctly, not by interrupting, not by jumping into your own story, but by simply listening and saying something like, "That must have been hard to unlearn," now she feels understood. And that feeling, that's what builds attraction at a deeper level. Now here's a small exercise for you. Next time you're talking to someone, instead of thinking about what to say next, just focus on understanding what they're feeling behind their words. You'll notice the entire dynamic shift. Now the second question, when do you feel most like yourself? This question goes straight to emotional authenticity. Because let's be honest, most people are performing at least a little bit in social situations. But this question invites her to step out of that performance. She might say something like, "When I'm alone, listening to music late at night," or "when I'm working on something creative," or even when I'm having deep conversations like this. And here's the key insight. She's now associating you with that state of authenticity. And when someone feels like they can be themselves around you, they don't want to lose that. That's how emotional safety turns into emotional attraction. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt completely yourself around someone? No pressure, no need to impress, just ease. That's the feeling you want to create. Not excitement alone, but emotional home. And that starts with questions like this. Now, the third question, if nothing was stopping you, no fear, no money issues, no judgment, what would you be doing right now? This is what I call a permission question. Because you're giving her space to express the version of herself she usually hides. And this is where things get really interesting, because most people have dreams they don't talk about, not because they don't matter, but because they're afraid of being judged. So when you ask this and you listen without interrupting, without questioning the practicality, without trying to fix or advise, you become a safe space. And safety is one of the strongest emotional triggers for attraction. Let's say she says, I've always wanted to travel alone for a year, but I've never had the courage. Now, instead of saying, yeah, you should totally do it, try saying, that sounds like something that would really change you. Now you're not just reacting, you're feeling with her. And that's rare, and rare is memorable. Before we go to the next question, if you're starting to see how powerful this is, drop a comment below and tell me which of these questions would feel the most natural for you to ask. I read every single one and I love seeing how you think. And if you're enjoying this, make sure you subscribe because we're just getting started. Now let's continue. The fourth question is, what kind of connection do you think you truly deserve? This question is deep and you need to use it at the right time, not too early, because this touches on self-worth. And self-worth is one of the most emotionally sensitive areas in human psychology. When she answers this, you're going to learn a lot. If she says something like, I just want someone who's honest and consistent, that tells you she's experienced inconsistency. If she hesitates, that tells you she might not have fully defined her standards yet. And here's the key. Do not interrupt. Do not correct. Do not lecture. Just hold space. Because most people don't have many moments where they're asked something like this and truly listened to. And when you give her that moment, like, you stand out without trying. Now let's pause here for a second, because what you're learning right now is not just about dating. It's about human connection. It's about understanding how people open up and why. And once you understand that, you don't just become more attractive. You become more impactful. Now let's continue, because this is where things start to become truly powerful. The fifth question is, what's something you wish people understood about you, but they usually don't? This question opens a door that most people keep closed, because deep down, almost everyone feels misunderstood in some way. Even the most confident, social, put-together woman you meet, there's something about her that people don't quite see, and when you ask this, you're giving her permission to reveal that hidden layer. She might say something like, people think I'm really confident, but I actually overthink a lot. Or, people assume I'm distant, but I just take time to trust. Now notice what's happening. She's not just sharing information. She's sharing vulnerability. And vulnerability, when it's safe, creates emotional bonding. But here's where most men go wrong. They hear something vulnerable and immediately try to fix it, or they respond too quickly, or worse, they turn it into a joke because they feel uncomfortable. Don't do that. Instead, slow down, look at her, and say something simple like, that makes sense, or I can see that. That validation, that calm, grounded presence, that's what makes her feel safe. And when a woman feels safe opening up to you, she starts trusting you emotionally. And emotional trust is the foundation of real attraction. Now, the sixth question, if you could go back and tell your younger self one thing, what would it be? This is what I call an emotional time travel question, because it connects her past to her present. And when she answers, you're not just seeing who she is now, you're seeing what shaped her. She might say, I would tell myself not to chase people who don't choose me. Now, that one sentence carries experiences, heartbreak, growth, lessons, and if you're truly present, you'll feel it. And here's something important. When she shares something like this, don't rush to respond with your own story. Let her moment exist, because that pause, that silence, that's where emotional depth lives. And most people rush past it, but you won't, because you understand something most don't. Connection is not built in words alone, it's built in presence. Now, the seventh and final question. What does freedom mean to you? This question is powerful because it reveals her core values. Everyone talks about freedom, but what it means is different for each person. For some, it's financial independence. For others, it's emotional peace. For some, it's the ability to live without expectations. And when she answers, you're getting insight into what truly matters to her, what she's moving toward, what she's trying to protect. And here's where it gets interesting. If her idea of freedom aligns with yours, there's natural compatibility. If it doesn't, that's important to know too, because attraction isn't just about connection, it's about alignment. Now let's bring everything together. These 7 questions, they're not tricks, they're not manipulation, they're invitations. Invitations for her to open up, to reflect, to feel something real. And your role is not to control the outcome, it's to create the space. Let me give you a simple framework you can remember. Ask, listen, feel, pause. That's it. Ask with curiosity, listen with intention, feel what she's expressing, and allow silence. Now imagine this. She goes home after talking to you. She's lying in bed, and your conversation replays in her mind. Not because you were the funniest, not because you tried the hardest, but because you made her feel something she doesn't feel often, seen, understood, safe, and a little curious about you. That's how you become unforgettable. So here's what I want you to do. Next time you're in a conversation, don't try to impress. Try to understand. Pick one of these questions, just one, and ask it naturally and watch what happens. And when you do, come back and tell me in the comments what changed. What did you notice? Because I genuinely want to hear your experience. And if this opened your perspective even a little, make sure you like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Psychology Secrets with Olivia. Oh, because we're not here for surface level advice, we're here for real connection. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.